What's cracklin', everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list. For each episode, we take a cereal, put on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host Tucker, and this episode, round 2 of the Chex Check In continues with Cinnamon Chex. Now, last episode, we did our first flavored Chex with Honey Nut Chex. That came in at a C. It almost could have been a B, but it came out as more just sweetened corn Chex than Honey Nut Chex. So we'll see if Cinnamon has the same issue. But unlike that one, Cinnamon Chex is using the D-ranked Rice Chex as its base. So we'll see if that really changes anything with the flavoring. But let's just get into it, see what we got. Ooh. Okay, this has a much more distinct cinnamon scent than the last one with the honey. Yeah, I mean, reminded me of Cinnamon Toast Crunch without scent, so it's definitely cinnamon. So like the last one, not really a change in the lattice look of the Chex. It's just a bit more distinct that the cinnamon's there versus sort of the glaze on the last one. It seems some pieces much more cinnamony than others. So hopefully that's a good balance. I feel like I should have put a bit more. Perfect. Hopefully. Okay. Here we go. Okay. I feel like that scent comparison to Cinnamon Toast Crunch, it's kind of accurate here, where the flavor is closer to that than some of the other cinnamon stuff we've done before. I think this is less sweet than Cinnamon Toast Crunch and has a bit more of the warmth, sort of, from the cinnamon. But I think that's the closest comparison, at least I'm getting right away. I think that decision to have some ultra cinnamony pieces, some regular pieces, generally works out pretty well. It helps you kind of have a balance when you're going through, but occasionally that means you are going to get bites that are much more cinnamony or much less cinnamony than others. So it's a little inconsistent, but I think the general idea with that pretty solid for Chex. And I think Rice Chex seems like the correct choice here too, because I feel like the corn would have been a bit too noticeable and wasn't super into the wheat one, so not even going to consider that option. But it seems like a solid Chex entry. Not rocking the boat or anything, but enjoyable enough. All right, we've got a lot of cinnamon specks floating around in here, so let's see what the milk's going to be like. It's a little darker now that I've kind of got it all together. Yeah, okay, pretty similar to the piece. It's that cinnamon sweetness, a little bit more of the cinnamon and the sweetness. Yep, pretty alright. Kind of what you'd think from Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cinnamon Frosted Flakes. Same sort of idea here. Not too different, but that's totally fine. I don't think this is my favorite Chex we've done, but I think it's definitely a solid entry. I respect what they did with this. Comparing this to the Honey Nut Chex from last episode, I think I would prefer those a bit, and this doesn't come off quite as sweet, so maybe that's why I kind of like that not quite honey sweetness versus the cinnamon sweetness this was doing. So just sort of preference difference there. The Rice Chex, like I said, I think was the correct choice for this. However, it does have a bit of an issue where the rice check, if I remember correctly, did sogify a bit quicker than the corn check. So that happens again here. Definitely not to the level that Cinnamon Toast Crunch does. Like, that sogifies like crazy, and it's weird that crunch is in the name. I think this comes off crunchier than that. So in that aspect, I think I would give this the point over Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So what that means is that Cinnamon Chex is going to get a C. Same rank as the Honey Nut Chex, but again, I do prefer those a bit. But I think this is a solid entry. It takes that base rice check, which I thought was pretty alright, and adds a bit of flavor in there. So comes out to pretty middle rank cereal. Again, I appreciated the crunch factor here more than Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I think the sweetness that Cinnamon Toast Crunch brings to the cinnamon flavor, I prefer. So it's kind of like, what's more important to you, the piece itself or just sort of the general sweetness? Like, I don't know. That preference would lead to you choosing this or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I think. But I think as a general package, they're fairly equal, so that's why they're ending up at the same rank. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you've had the chance to try Cinnamon Chex. If you thought the cinnamon was too much, maybe let me know. If you were a big fan of how this was more cinnamony than sweet compared to a lot of the other cinnamon cereals, let me know about that. If you were upset that I'd say this is pretty comparable and in crunch aspect a bit better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you can let me know. Defend CTC in the comments. I know it's a very popular cereal and I was mixed on it, but hey, preferences change, so let me know about all that, all those comparisons. And also, comparison-wise, if you've tried the Honey Nut Chex, let me know how you would rank them, if you'd go honey cinnamon like me, or maybe you'd flip that. Just lots of thoughts with comparing this to other cereals we've done. Seems to be the popular thought I'm having. But until next time, stay delicious.